you're dealing with the Capricorn, you're dealing with the Aries, you're dealing with a lot of people who get angry very easily. Um, and so just taking this time just to sit back and relax, just to see how life unfolds, because it's still going to unfold the way that it is, whether or not these people realize that you know. Because the last 3 weeks, they've already revealed to people that they didn't know, that knew you, that this is who they are. And if people remain the same, whether there's tragic or something happy moving along in their lives, to you, that's a very stable, solid person. Even if they're not stable and they're solid, that's somebody that you're going to be keeping in your life moving on into July. Yeah, so we have Ace of Diamonds in the reverse here with the Gemini. Either an actual Gemini has been denying something to you, or there have been rumors and gossip that have gotten in the way of potential friendships that could have turned into potential networks, that could have, just a lot of revealing is going on. We got hang tight, help is on the way, and that was in the reverse. So there's been a lot of blockages due to rumors and gossip and things concerning a past relationship having to do with the signs that I've mentioned already. And you know that, and that's why you did things differently. If you had done things the same as you normally do, then I feel like you could have fallen victim to whatever it is that this person has been planning and has been doing to fool other people into believing such false stories, such false hiccups, such false holes in the story. Like, there's so many loopholes in either conversations that you're having with Capricorns, that you're having with Aries, that you're having with Leo males, not supposed to be females. This insurance card thing just flew away now. And yet it's heavier than all the other cards that I have sitting here. So you have a lot of people that are folding, a lot of people that you didn't think, would have done this or that to you. And this is like the ultimate break for you. So being single, you're actually in a really good position because you don't feel like you have any obligations towards anybody. You do have responsibilities, like towards your mother, even though your mother has passed away. There's like things that your mother has taught you that that you're never going to forget, and these are priorities that you are tied to. You're bound to these things. You're bound to behave and act a certain way. Single or in a relationship, but especially if you're being single, there's still an independence that you have to keep towards yourself. And if you have children, then you can't let them see you fall apart. And nobody has seen you fall apart. So if you're single and you have like these things that have been going on in your life that have really been blocking you from a lot of blessings, then concerning the signs that I've mentioned, then, and I can't really remember the signs that I've mentioned because they like to play this game where they're one person and then they're not, and then they are and then they're not, and it's really a back and forth thing. And you don't want your children to learn that if you have children. So it could be like a great grandparent, it could be a grandparent, it could be a mother or father, it could be an ex-boyfriend, it could be whatever it is. So being single and also isolating yourself from the rest of the world is kind of something that you're doing right now here with the Two of Clovers, and this is the present time. It's kind of like on a seesaw, learning how to balance everything that's going on in your life. And if you're in a relationship, then I feel like you're in a relationship with the Cancer or the Libra. If you're thinking about leaving a Libra behind just because you've uncovered a few things, I want you to know that maybe you shouldn't have agreed into getting into this relationship with the Libra if you were going to, investigate and have the intentions to uncover these things and then end up getting hurt by them, because you have to know that Libra's not going to be upfront with you about the things that, they keep hidden in their closet. This is something, everybody works differently, and I don't think that you should leave the Libra right away. I just feel like these are things that you've had to deal with yourself, because you think and operate differently in relationships, whereas Libras operate and think differently than others, and Cancers and Sag, and I'll just say dinosaurs and Leos, and everybody acts differently in relationships. And a lot of the time you might be upfront about a lot of things while other signs aren't. That doesn't mean that they purposely were keeping these things from you to hurt you years down the line when you discovered it, because they weren't expecting you to discover whatever it is that you discovered. It's nothing bad like cheating and stuff like that, but maybe they did cheat on a past partner in the past and they weren't ready to tell you because they didn't want to lose you. You know, they already had these ideas of what they thought was going to happen, and that's what's happening, and that's what they knew, so what was the point in telling you if you were going to find out anyway and break up with them and make it into something that they didn't want it to be to begin with? Does that kind of make sense? So instead of making a mountain out of a molehill, Scorpios, I want you to take a break from them and tell them, you know, that you love them and you still want to work this out, but you just need to look at the situation differently. And I do want you to speak to a Taurus. I do want you to speak to a Leo. I do want you to speak to a Virgo, or a Virgo Leo, somebody on a cusp, you know, or a Leo or a Taurus. I do want you to speak to a Sagittarius about this. Okay, they're a diamond under rhinestones. They want to help you out. They don't want to hurt you. But there's a right time and a wrong time and a season and a day and a time to talk about everything. And everybody goes about it differently. Everyone sees things very differently. And that's why, you know, knowing what signs are compatible with what signs are a really great piece of advice that you can give yourself. But it's not just that, because even though you gel really well with a lot of signs that say you're compatible with them, that doesn't mean you're compatible enough to have a relationship with them. Okay, that could just be friendship. That could just mean you get along with this person up until certain boundaries arise, or certain, you know, they're crossing certain boundaries, whereas you're like, hey, well, my sign said this, my sign said that. So being in a relationship with a Libra that you're considering leaving, I wouldn't leave them just because you discovered something that you have been looking into that they weren't willing to tell you. But I'm not saying that they weren't willing to tell you unless you already had this conversation and you brought it up and they had the opportunity to share with you and they did, and now you're finding it out. I would say break up with them then, you know. But if you're not giving someone a chance to be able to feel comfortable enough to open up to you without feeling like they too are being pried into, just like you don't like it being done to you, don't do it to them. But there are still some things people don't like being done to them, even if you like it. And so taking the time to get to know what they like and what they don't like before finding out their secrets, before finding out what they're hiding, before finding out anything else, this is just going to be one huge either A, lesson to you, or B, something or someone that you should hold on to. So give me a second. Let me look into it real quick just to see if this is someone worth holding on to. But, you know, it could... If it resonates, great. If it doesn't, great. And if it kind of sort of resonates, well, be sure to check into your moon and your rising signs just to be able to put the stories together. And then if it resonates really well, then maybe take it a little step further and either talk about it with fans, friends, family, get a personal reading from me. I'll put personal reading information up soon. But right now, I'm just really trying to get readings out. You know, before I do readings, like, I want to make sure you guys are happy and leave with a smile before I even think about collecting money from anybody, you know, to give to charity, or think about, you know, setting up a way for you and I to be able to have a conversation other than what's going on Facebook. And you can message me on Facebook. You'll find me at Prism Caverns through Pro Caverns Tarot on Facebook, and you can go ahead and add me there. And yeah, this is just the way for me to be able to connect to you guys and see if this is something that is resonating with you right now, because I haven't been in connection with you guys for so long. But if it does resonate, like I said, great. But be sure to check out your rising and your moons, and you find that out through the time on your birth certificate. Alright, so we have, I like to call him the jack of all trade, master of none, but that's a little term that my mom had taught me. He's also somebody that writes a lot. It could also be a she. Okay, and then we have unveiling of hidden intentions here in the reverse with the Ace of Spades. And now you know that everything that you've gone through in June is because of your own benefit. You needed to go through it, and you don't need anybody to tell you the future, because you actually like to ride the wave. What's the point of riding the wave if you know that this particular I don't know, wave is gonna come up, and it's like you didn't learn anything from it. You just learned how to go through it rather than how to learn from it and grow from it and be a better person, and finding better ways to ride the wave instead of just going through the motions, like, you know. So, but overall, whether you're single or whether you're in a relationship, what's coming up for you in July, and July is going to be read at the end of July just to see what you guys have gone through. But I wouldn't consider June a month of turmoil. I would call this the fuck, here we go again. And it's like, I already told you, I already told you, I already told you, because you don't need to tell anybody why you're doing something. You just know that you're doing things differently, and that should be your own, you know, intuitional hint, clue, sign, you know, type of thing that is letting you know that this is a red flag. Okay, there's no hidden intention because there's a red flag, or any hidden intentions are unveiled by, you know, you never stop writing because you always have these little hunches. You always have these little, I always had this feeling. I always knew this person was rubbing me the wrong way. You know, this person gave me this look, but it wasn't just that look. It was like the feeling and the look, and it hit me here, it hit me here, it hit me here. It's this feeling that won't go away. Well, taking the time to understand your own true energies first, getting to know what you want first, and if you know what you want, being in a relationship, knowing you have to get to know what the other person wants, likes too, because we're all different. And you're like, oh yeah, I forgot, because you went from maybe being single to getting a relationship with this person, you know, and or went from being friends with this person to jumping into a relationship with them, or just jumping right into a relationship with them, and you're like, well, I didn't expect him to be this way. Or maybe you've broken up, had a break, maybe you're dating other people, and you're like, well, I want to come back, let's be in a relationship again. You know, there's so much going on, but I feel like June was just a whole bunch of stuff that you had to learn that, yeah, oh, here we go again, was required for you to, like, pick out the weeds, to pick out the things that you didn't need to keep in your life anymore, that you were still keeping in your life, that were dragging you down, that weren't letting you get from point A to point Z instead of point A to point B. You know, like, we're really weighing you down in this successful triumph, okay? And